Hi everyone, it's Marcus here again for discussion 3. My response to question 1 is that I have to say that I do completely agree with Stella Young that sometimes people with disabilities are objectified by people without disabilities to somehow benefit them by having the disabled person serve as some form of an idol, one where they must glean motivation and inspiration from the disabled person with the mindset, it could always be worse for me. Stella says at one point, they are there so that you can look at them and think that things aren't so bad for you, to put your worries into perspective. Essentially, this kind of outlook is somewhat patronizing and defensive to those with disabilities, who are battling far more similar obstacles to people without disabilities than the obvious challenges that they face. My response to question 2. One way I would continue to question what I think I know about disabilities and diversity is by holding myself accountable. If I find students in my class have disabilities causing them to feel alienated or unable to successfully participate in my classroom, I will seek to help the students in any way I can. Firstly, by speaking with the students and letting them know I've noticed them struggling, and I want to know how can I do things differently for them to feel confident and engaging in being successful in my class. I will let them know just because they might have a disability, that shouldn't mean that they are left behind and abandoned, doomed to fail. Instead, we need to find the right way to help these students be successful and confidently engage with the material without expecting mediocre results. They too can have a productive outcome in this class. My response for question 3. Our reading states that in addition to developing an environment accepting cultural differences, teachers should try to use instructional methods that are proven to be effective for students from a variety of backgrounds. These kinds of instructional practices help to include all types of students, including those with disabilities or multicultural learning differences, which is going to help to foster an atmosphere of inclusion and acceptance of diversity. Inclusion benefits students with disabilities as well as those without them. In students with disabilities, it can help to boost social and academic environment, also helping them reach their highest productivity and prepare them for adulthood. It can benefit students without disabilities by fostering empathy, understanding, and acceptance of human differences. My response to question 4. One challenge that parents of children with disabilities may face is that of a huge feeling of guilt. Frequently, those parents feel that they are somehow responsible for their child's condition. As a teacher, I would inform them about the lack of foundation for such thoughts and that blaming themselves isn't correct or beneficial to the well-being of the disabled child. Another challenge these parents face is feeling vulnerable to criticism from other people about how to appropriately handle their disabled child. In this circumstance, as a teacher, I would need to let the parents know all of these individuals are not in their shoes and that what they say doesn't hold any weight. People often look on the outside and believe that they know what's best, but they are not professionals and don't know what they're talking about most of the time. A third challenge is handling the feelings of their disabled child themselves. This is difficult because they don't want to alarm the child, making them feel hyper aware of their disability and compounding the difficulties and challenges. As the teacher, I would suggest the parents speak openly and candidly to their child as early as an age as possible. My response to the 5th question. Schools can encourage families to become actively involved through advocating a family-centered model. In this model, professionals help to encourage the families to make their own decisions regarding services, while also utilizing resources, formal and informal support for that family's intended outcomes. Research has shown this method leads to positive results for families. In general, we understand that a family's concern and a family's intervention can be more than beneficial for a child, any child, especially a child with disabilities. So recognizing that having the family be an active, involved part in this child's health and development is going to help that child tremendously, as well as that family in the situation. Thank you.